As spring break kicks off for many across the U.S., individuals and families are looking to travel to warm, tropical destinations. The Caribbean is always a popular destination this time of year for cruises and other island vacations as well. When traveling to the Caribbean, U.S. travelers should keep one thing in mind. If you interact with pigs or are thinking about bringing back pork products to the U.S., you could potentially spread a disease that, while not harmful to humans, could do severe damage to the pig population here in the US and cost billions of dollars in lost revenue. Today, I have veterinary medical officer Dr. Sarai Rivera Garcia from USDA AMPHIS, and she's here to explain more about the African swine fever and what we can do to keep it from entering the US. Welcome, Doctor. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Doctor, what is African swine fever and why is it such an important issue right now?
African swine fever is a very contagious and deadly virus that infects pigs. As you said, it does not affect humans, so it's not an issue of public health or food safety, but it can be devastating to the population of pigs in the United States, to the pork industry, and potentially the economy. It has been estimated that it could cause losses of about 74 billion in 10 years if the disease were to be introduced to the United States. Right now, we do not have it in the States, and that's why we want to make sure that we keep it out. And in order to keep it out, we need help from the public, from travelers going abroad and coming back to the US.
African swine fever is harmless to humans, as you said, but travelers can unknowingly spread the disease in products they bring in and on their clothes or shoes. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So the virus is very resistant, and it can survive in clothing and shoes and equipment. It is resistant to temperatures, both high and low. So when we go out to an international destination, for example, and we go out to the farm or we go out to an excursion that has a pig interaction, we should make sure that those clothing, the shoes that we wore for it, are handled in a specific way so that when we take them back to the United States, we are not spreading the virus around. Also, we should not be bringing pork products from those international destinations back to the US mainland.
If we're taking a trip and we want to interact with pigs via an excursion or visit a pig farm, what do we need to do when we return to the United States?
So as we are preparing for our return, we should make sure that the clothes, the shoes, the equipment that we wore are cleaned, that they are disinfected, or that they are disposed of. So we do that before we leave. Once we get to the airport, then we need to make sure that we declare where we have been to the officials at the US Custom and Border Protection Station. Also, we should not bring pork, but if we do have any food in our bags, we should also declare it to them so that they take proper action as to those.
What would happen if that flu reaches the US?
So if African swine fever reaches the US, it can be devastating. It will affect the population of pigs, the overall domestic population of pigs, and potentially the wild pigs as well. This will cause a decrease in our supply of pork and hence our increase in prices. It can also be devastating to those producers that live off of production of pigs. And it could also affect trade. So the United States is the second largest exporter of pork globally. If we were to get African swine fever, that could be seriously affected and it could have devastating effects.
Now, are there certain pork products that we really need to not travel with?
So both raw and cooked products are prohibited. Most of the products that we talked about are things like ham, bacon. If you go to a Latin destination, pasteles, lechon, things like mortadella, prosciutto. There are certain exceptions to this list, which if people are interested in knowing more or they feel like they really want to bring something back, then we basically direct them to go to our website, which is www.aphis.usda.gov/stopasf. And there they'll be able to find the list of all the prohibited products and the exceptions to that. As well, they'll be able to find more information on what to expect when you get to the airport and you have to go through that Custom and Border Protection station.
I've been speaking with Veterinary Medical Officer Dr. Rivera Garcia. We've been talking about the African swine flu. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.